What's going on, guys? Andre here. Welcome to another video and welcome to my backyard. Does this look familiar? Well, it shouldn't, because I actually just moved. I moved out of Denver, closer to the mountains. I'm like 15 minutes outside of Boulder now, meaning I can just bike straight up a mountain from my house without having to bike like 30 miles to get there, and I'm super stoked about that. But that's not what this video is about. This is Biking for Donuts, episode 2. Roll that intro. Alright, for episode 2, I will be going to a more local franchise, Lamars Donuts and Coffee. Lamar's was founded in 1960 in Kansas City, Missouri by LaMar. They started franchising in 1993. There are now 25 different locations across 5 different states, including Colorado, Arizona, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri. Their current headquarters is in Denver, Colorado, which explains why there are quite a few locations around where I live. Between their 25 different locations, Lamar's produces an estimated 344,700 donuts per week. That's actually 17.9 million donuts a year. That's a lot of donuts. Their lowest calorie donut is actually their original glaze, clocking in at 220 calories, but they have donuts ranging all the way up to 850 calories, so I have a feeling some of these are gonna be pretty dense. Alright, now let's get into this ride, and I got a big one planned for today. If you went on Google and searched best road cycling routes near Boulder, this is gonna be on every single one of their lists. I'm gonna be biking from my house to Left Hand Canyon Drive, and then climbing to the city of Ward. From my house to the city of Ward, it's going to be just over 30 miles with 5,000 elevation gain. Most of the elevation gain is going to come from that 15-mile stretch of Left Hand Canyon Drive. The average gradient going up Left Hand Canyon is 4.1%, which isn't that bad, but there's a peak gradient right before the city of Ward of 15%. Of course, it's gotta be right at the end. Not looking forward to that part, it's gonna be brutal. On the way down, I might take a little detour up Lee Hill just to make it more of a loop and to spice things up a little bit. The total distance for this ride is going to be close to 65 miles with a total of 5,000 elevation gain. All right, let's get into it. Wow, these look so good. I wish you guys could smell in here right now because it smells amazing. All right, let's get into this donut review. My initial impressions walking into Lamar's is it really gives you that small mom and pop bakery feel. Even though it's a chain, it's a franchise, you know, it doesn't have those franchise vibes like Dunkin' Donuts does. All right, and the variety at Lamar's is incredible. They had just about every type of donut that you can think of, so I'm gonna give them an A for variety. All right, now let's get into how Instagrammable these look. You know, I don't want to go crazy here with my rating, but these are looking really good. I'm gonna give them a B+ for appearance. You know, they're not super decorative, but they're looking really good. All right, let's get this started with the original glaze. As I've said before, guys, whenever I go to a new donut shop, I always gotta start with the original glaze because that is a true test to see how good the donut shop's dough is going to be. Woo! All right, right off the bat, I'm pretty impressed with this. You know, I'm gonna put it right here on the light and fluffy scale. It's pretty damn pillowy. You know, I'm impressed with this one. You know, with the original glaze, I think I gotta try dunking it. You know, because apparently they're supposed to be known for their coffee too. Ooh, that's solid. All right, the original glaze, I'm gonna give that one an 8 out of 10. It was really good. And that's getting me excited for the rest of these because I know the dough is really good right off the bat. Next, I'm gonna hop into the LaMar bar. I got the maple glazed one. Check this thing out. It looks so good. Ooh. Oh yeah, I'm excited for this one. Check that out, guys. It is just like pancakes and syrup right there. So good. It's a little denser than the original glaze, but the actual maple frosting is, it's freaking awesome. I love maple syrup, so, you know, it's obvious I'm gonna like this. Wow, the thing was absolutely massive. You know, it was really good, but I think I liked the original glaze better, so I'm gonna give that one 7.5 out of 10. Next, I'm gonna get into this cinnamon crunch one. I think this is just an original covered in like a cinnamon sugar. It's looking amazing. Ooh, a lot of cinnamon, good texture. I'm usually a huge cinnamon fan, but that one was almost like too much cinnamon to where like when you bite into it, it was like dry. So I'm gonna have to bump that one down a few notches and give it a 6.5 out of 10. You guys know I'm saving my favorites for last, so let's get into this sour cream one. This one is looking very unique. I think they call these old-fashioned donuts. You know, it looks very dense. Let's give it a try. Very dense, almost oily. Not sure if I like it actually. Maybe I'm just biased towards, you know, the fluffy yeast donuts, but I wasn't really into that one. I'll put it right here on the light and fluffy scale. It was definitely way closer to the dense side than fluffy. Overall, I'd give that sour cream donut a 6 out of 10. All right, here we go, guys. I'm excited for these. If you saw episode 1, you would know these are my 2 favorite donuts. So I think I'm gonna go with the apple fritter to start us off. This thing is huge. Look at it compared to my face. It's a lot bigger than all the other donuts I've had so far. And wow, pretty stoked on this one. Wow, very nice crunch. It's a lot thinner than I expected it to be. Very, very cinnamony and sweet, but no apple chunks in it, unfortunately. You know, this one just feels right to give it a dunk in the coffee. Just gotta try that out. Oh man, that goes really well. Because it's almost like overly sweet, so with the coffee, gives it that perfect level. Alright, that apple fritter was pretty solid. It was almost a little too dark and crispy for my liking, but it's still my favorite donut, so I really like it. So I'm gonna make it tied with the original glazed right now and give it an 8 out of 10. Alright, the final donut, the Boston cream. Oh man, I'll tell you, this thing's got some weight to it. Ooh, baby. Look at all that filling in there. Oh, wow. Oh man, look at that. That's the one. That's the one right there. The chocolate frosting on top, really good. Perfect amount of chocolatiness, perfect amount of sweetness. The filling on this is seriously perfect. It's like vanilla pudding, but more rich. Oh wow, that Boston cream was amazing. I don't know if I have any complaints about it. You know, maybe it could use just like a little more filling, but it was a lot of filling compared to most places, so I'm gonna give that one a 9 out of 10. All right, that's it for the Lamar's donut review. Let's get back to this ride and I'll give you my summary and conclusions later. All right, 10 miles in. That's 20 miles and we're starting to head into Left Hand Canyon. Woo, that was a brutal climb. Jesus, like it was like 5,000 elevation gain in the past 15 miles, and the last 2 miles was just so steep. That was really testing me, let me tell you. All right, I'm gonna eat some Cheerios and chug down some water, and then turn around and head back down. Thank God. Wow, that was a brutally hard ride. I'll give you a full summary in a little bit. I gotta go. Just gather myself. Oh, my legs are so dead after that one. All right, I hope this lighting looks okay, guys. This is what I'm working with right now. I don't have any professional lighting, so hopefully this looks all right. All right, my conclusions on Lamar's Donuts and Coffee. I'm gonna start it off with all the things that I loved about it. First of all, when you walk in the door, it really has that small bakery feel. It doesn't have like that corporate franchise feel that, you know, Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's, for example, has. It feels like it's just like a one-off shop, even though it is a franchise. Two, they have a massive variety of donuts. They have just about every donut you can think of. The only things I saw missing from it were maybe a donut that has bacon on it, and then a cronut, which is a croissant combined with a donut, but not a lot of places have that, so I'm not gonna dock them for it. And third, these donuts really looked amazing, and they had the taste to back them up. Well, most of them did. And finally, I'm gonna give them bonus points because they will actually fill their Lamar bars on the spot with whatever filling you want, like any of the typical donut fillings like cream or jelly, if you ask them to do it. I didn't get it done this time, but last time I went to Lamar's, I had them fill up one of the bars and it was incredible. Now, what did I not like about the place? Now, this is gonna be a little nitpicky, but I just didn't like how some of the donuts were executed. The apple fritter is one of my favorite donuts, and I've had really good apple fritters, and this one, it looked really good, you know, when I bought it, but when I ended up eating it, it was just like kind of like overly crispy, which made it like not taste very balanced, and you know, there was no like discernible apple chunks, so I don't know, it was kind of a letdown based on how good it looks. Also, the old-fashioned or the sour cream donut, you know, I was not into that thing at all. It tasted like really dense and oily. Like I felt like I can really taste the oil that they fried it in, and that might just be personal preference because, you know, my roommate tried a little bit of it and she really liked that one, so you know, I think it's just personal preference. With all this taken into consideration, I'm gonna give Lamar's Donuts and Coffee 8 quacks. That's 8 out of 10. All right, now let's get into the ride. That was really, really difficult. It was probably the hardest ride I've ever done. It was not the longest ride in terms of mileage by any stretch of the imagination, but it was definitely the most elevation gain I've ever done in a single ride. But I'm pretty sure this is just 15 miles straight uphill. Just uphill the whole time. You see, the thing about climbing on a bike is you can never let off the gas. When you're biking on flat, you have the option to stop pedaling and just coast, but when you're going up a hill, if you stop pedaling, you're gonna come to a stop and then you're gonna lose all your momentum. So 15 miles of this ride was just a straight climb, so I just could not let off the gas at all for 15 miles, and it was so brutal. By the time I got to the top, I was just like begging for it to end. Yeah, it was super difficult, but I'm pretty into doing super difficult physical challenges because in the end, when you finally finish it, it's just that much more rewarding. This was a sweet ride for a number of reasons. One, it was super scenic. You get to just snake through a canyon for most of it, following a river, which was really cool. Two, the climbing portion of the ride was just a really consistent grade for most of it until you got to the very end, which is where it climbed up to like 15% grade, and it was crazy hard, but I kind of liked that it builded up to the hardest part of the ride being right before the turnaround point, because that's how I feel like it should be. And three, right near the top of the climb on the side of the road, there was a fresh water spigot so you can fill up with drinking water, and I really needed that, so that was a huge benefit of this ride. Overall, it's gonna be kind of hard to fault this ride on anything besides like maybe you didn't have any vast mountaintop beauty. So because of that, I'm gonna give the left-hand canyon drive climb up to the city of Ward a 9 out of 10. All right, and for anybody curious about the numbers, the data on this whole ordeal, those 6 donuts totaled 2,560 calories, and that ride was about 65 miles with 5,500 elevation gain. The ride took me 5 hours and 10 minutes to complete, and I burned an estimated 1,838 calories. So quite a bit slower than my typical rides, but that's because of all the elevation gain. All right, that's it for Biking for Donuts episode 2. Guys, I wanna know, what is your favorite donut shop? Let me know down in the comments. Also, if you have any suggestions on where I should go next, whether it be a donut shop or a particular bike ride, I'm open for all suggestions. If you guys like this video, hit that like button down below. It really helps me out with the whole YouTube algorithm thing. I'm gonna pull up 2 more of my videos right here and here if you wanna watch more from me. And don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you wanna see more videos from me. All right, I'll catch you in the next one.